So Disney announced today that they are pushing back the release date for the live-action Snow White remake to 2025, and they released this picture to go along with it, showing our first look at the seven dwarfs, and yikes.
What? I've decided that starting now, I'm just gonna stop asking questions about this live action. I feel like I don't even want to know the answer. Just burn this movie, burn it down to the ground, we do not need it.
Disney has faced further than enough difficulties regarding Snow White, and every time they attempt to change things, it always comes out worse than before. Suckers are now tired of hearing that we'll be seeing CGI dwarves, and Disney still will not replace Rachel Zegler. Originally, Disney had a different conception in mind for the movie, planning on having actors with dwarfism portray the seven dwarfs in Snow White. However, Disney's plans took an unexpected turn when actor Peter Dinklage raised his concerns about their original casting decisions. Peter, who has achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, pointed out that started a huge online debate. It was all about how Disney tried to balance inclusivity by casting a Latina actress, Rachel Zegler, as Snow White while simultaneously sticking to the traditional depiction of the seven dwarfs. Still, Peter Dinklage pointed out the double standards in Disney's vision. He said, "I was a little taken back by the fact that they are very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White."
Taken back by they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow
Still
White.
Snow White, yeah.
Seven dwarfs.
Sure.
Look, take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of seven dwarfs living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
Peter especially expressed his frustration with the fact that Disney was playing into the dwarf conception, and he intimately questioned Disney's decision-making process. He continued, saying they were so proud of that, and all love and respect to the actress and the people who allowed they were doing the right thing. But I am just like, what are you doing? Peter was virtually soliciting Disney for a more progressive and enlightened liar when it comes to the seven dwarfs. Still, this entered a lot of mixed opinions from the public. In response to the growing contestation, Disney participated in a statement addressing the concerns. The plant made it clear they wished to avoid buttressing conceptions from the original animated film, and also assured people that they would be taking a different approach with the seven characters. Disney indeed stated that they had been in addresses with members of the dwarfism community and promised to reveal further details as the film moved into production. The contestation actually strengthened as Disney revealed they would not be casting actors with dwarfism for the places of the seven dwarfs, since numerous members of the dwarfism community believed that the opportunity to be part of a major production was slipping away. The decision divided quite a lot of people, since many actors with dwarfism dissented with Peter's views, since they did not partake in his experience in Hollywood, and these places would have been pivotal for them to gain exposure and further their careers. Effects only got worse from there, as it was revealed how the dwarfs really looked like in the movie. Through images taken on the set, the dwarfs had been transformed into magical timber brutes of colorful sizes, and suckers of the original Snow White story felt that this change swerved significantly from the classic narrative. The new character designs and story direction raised questions about the substance of Snow White and her relations with these transformed brutes, leaving numerous nostalgic suckers dissatisfied. The movie's casting opinions and depiction of the dwarfs as magical timber brutes ended up creating a complex and heated debate, since it sparked concerns girding Disney's attempts at representation and diversity. As effects continued to get worse, WE star Dylan Postal decided to speak on the issue as he expressed his frustration and disappointment. In an exclusive interview with Newsweek, Dylan explosively blamed the plant's casting choices, which sounded to prioritize inclusivity and currentness, but from his perspective, did further detriment than good to the representation of people with dwarfism. He said, "It's not right because there are places made for actors of my elevation. These dwarf places are for people of my elevation, and now it's taken down. I do not feel that is right. And not only that, but now suppose about the fresh trick actors or body doubles. Now you are talking multiple actors of my elevation that do not get these major places. His disappointment ran deep as he went through a roller coaster of feelings from shame and embarrassment to outright wrathfulness. Still, it's not just the dwarfs that got Disney into major trouble, since Rachel Zegler has gotten nothing but review for playing Snow White. And it's especially because of Disney's sweats to make Snow White more inclusive and feminist. Ray spoke about the film's modernization and its emphasis on womanish commission. Still, her commentary did nothing but make people feel indeed worse about the movie. Rachel's casting had formerly gotten plenty of review when she was blazoned as Snow White in 2021. Some Disney suckers were unhappy with the plant's choice to cast a Latina actress in the part, since she looks nothing like the character and would never be called Snow White. And the debate over her casting only got worse when Rachel started participating her opinion on the original Snow White.
I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
Like seeing yourself for the first time in full Snow White drag.
I love that description, it's perfect.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
Still, Zegler's commentary about the original Snow White also attracted attention and made a lot of people veritably frenetic, especially because she admitted to only having seen the original movie once as a child, and that she was not indeed an addict of it at all. I was spooked of the original cartoon.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
Rachel indeed described the love story between Snow White and the prince as creepy and labelled the prince's guestie as stalkerish. The original cartoon came out in 1937 and veritably...
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
And her choice of words touched off numerous people and led to counter-reaction online. All of these effects combined made the movie undesirable to a lot of people, especially as further and further details were released. Suckers, formerly divided over the casting of Rachel Zegler, began calling for her relief, especially since Disney suddenly decided to remake the dwarfs yet again. Still, rather than hiring actors with dwarfism, they decided to go with CGI for the dwarf characters. A first-look print from the set showed Rachel Zegler sitting in a president girdled by the 7 dwarfs, all portrayed by Martin Kleber using CGI. This decision was met with a lot of counter-reaction online, as the dwarfs looked absolutely terrible, and Disney still had not given the places to actors with factual dwarfism. The use of CGI for the dwarf characters raised concerns about representation and authenticity, and numerous people demanded that the movie be cancelled. With the dwarfs being changed once more, the movie was also delayed to 2025, giving Disney time to right their wrongs as suckers became more skeptical about the entire movie's direction. But it's especially the debate girding Rachel's casting that has been awakened yet again, as suckers demand that rather than making bad effects worse by turning the dwarfs into CGI, they concentrate on revamping Rachel to save the movie from completely failing. As it's looking right now, nothing has any intention of seeing this movie if effects stay as they are, which is why the smartest thing for Disney would be to take advantage of the detention to fix effects. This also comes in light of Rachel formally being removed from one design, which might mean all of her difficulties are eventually catching up to her. Reportedly, Zegler has been removed from the cast of the forthcoming movie Paddington 3. The news of her departure from the film was participated by the Hollywood handle on Twitter, where they said the movie would continue re-photographing in the UK without Rachel, who was firstly set to play the character Gina Cabot. Some people have linked this to the actors' strike, which has affected the film's product. Still, there is quite a debate on whether or not this is actually true. One person defending Rachel said, "I know you haters felt a little spark of joy when you saw this, but sorry to fail. She wasn't remake. Baguette Twitter was crying. She was recast because the actors are on strike. And this is a UK product that started re-photographing in July. They just could not stay for her any longer." Despite this explanation, Others differ, maintaining that if the product platoon truly wanted to keep Zegler in the design, they would have set up a way to accommodate her schedule and circumstances, especially because other actors on the design are under the same strike, and they are being kept on the design. This is why suckers are calling for Disney to open their eyes and follow in Paddington's steps, as they believe that the movie will never be suitable to live up to the prospects of both longtime suckers and beginners. Effects are not fixed soon. The argument remains that if Disney could make such a huge change to the characters of the dwarfs, they could also review their casting choices, and indeed the overall direction of the movie, which is seriously putting people off at the moment. Do you guys suppose Disney could remake Rachel? Let me know down below, and do not forget to check out this other videotape.